Well, good day everyone, and welcome back to my blog, and welcome to another day in a seafarer's life. So right now, I was just debriefed by the one whom I relieved a few moments ago about what I'm going to do for the night work. So it was pretty much simple. It just basically means that I have to paint this whole floor area with a full coat color gray. So pretty much straightforward. Now, the equipment is already been prepared here. You can see that you've already prepared. And the color green paint final coat is Jotun Hardtop Smart Pack. Okay, well, it's pretty much dry. This is component A, which contains the pigment, the color of the paint itself, and this is the component B, which is the hardener or hardtop smart pack component B. So it's just the same brand. So what is the component B in layman's terms? It basically hardens the paint. It doesn't do any coloring, but it basically makes the paint dry. Because if we don't apply component B, the paint like this one will still remain wet and it won't dry. Anyway, I guess I'll be better start now my work here. So it won't be a problem anyway, because this is pretty much straightforward. Not really expecting much of a problem on this. So there we go. So I guess I'll just start painting. So there we go. Wait. I think it's much more best if I start on this part or on this area. This one. So I just have to be careful not to step on any wet paint. Oh yeah, one more thing. There are two CCTV cameras here. One is this one I'm looking at, and the other is somewhere over there. By the way, if you're asking what area of the ship I am, in the shuttle tanker, I am now located in the BLS structure of the shuttle tanker, which is right beside this traction winch. So, yeah, basically what the traction winch is, it's an extra winch where we heave up the chain, the chain part of the buoy. Anyway, enough with that introduction, so I'll have to begin now. So I'll just make a full coat. He did said specifically, the one that I relieved here, that I should fully coat the area here. So right now, I will just have to finish this whole area. Hopefully I do have enough paint. And I'll be probably continuing the whole painting session until my battery runs out from my action camera. So anyway, it's nice that I'm well alone here and doing all this, and capturing the moment of how I do stuff on my work. Of course, I have to do things proficiently, so I was expecting that I would be doing something about stencils, but apparently objectives does change. So now painting this area here in full coat. Anyway, it's not my business anyway. I just have to do what I have on my watch, and that's it. Anyway, I don't have to worry about it because there's a lot of paint in the ship's paint store. And from what I'm doing right now, I don't have to worry about CCTV security cameras because they're not exactly pointing at me. it's pointing there on that direction, and one is pointing on the other. So I'm pretty much safe from any prying eyes while filming. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, recently I just, one thing that I took my attention lately was I was planning to make a podcast. I didn't find out, but for everybody's information, YouTube just recently launched their podcast versions. I mean, they do have several categories like YouTube Shorts, but the one that took my interest lately is the YouTube podcast, which is basically, from what they describe, it's a podcast. It's basically an audio format file, like say a recorded message that is being broadcasted. Now, the thing here that caught my attention was because I could use, or my plans if I'm gonna make a podcast is basically just make some reruns on my previous diary entries on my former blog, which is blogspot.com. For everybody's information, I used to run, I have a blog that is not more like in a video like YouTube. My blog is mostly like in a written format, which of course I use. I have a blog website, to be honest. That's what, okay, just to simplify it. But apparently my blog website isn't exactly that popular, and I guess nobody's interested to, read those diary entries anyway. So I started blogging, the website blogging, way back in 2006. Yeah, I know, that's a very long time ago, as old as probably YouTube itself. Back then in 2006, YouTube was its infancy and nobody is exactly interested in video blogs back then. And so I run a blog in Google. Of course, Google owns Blogger now. Back then, Blogger was an independent website, but Google bought it. So there, I started my blog there. I was even there when it transitioned from being owned by an independent website, Blogspot, to owned by Google. So from there, I continued writing my blog entries for the past. I started a blog, but my most ancient blog was way back, goes as far as beyond as 2003 to 2006. However, I went on offline back then, didn't pursue writing until the next 6 years. So my latest blog entries when I started a new blog website was the year 2012. So yeah, it's still ancient in the sense that it's already been 10 years. Now, what's this got to do with my with the YouTube podcast? Well, I plan to make since my blog website entries are mostly text-based, I could probably just narrate it and convert it to an audio file. There, once being converted on my journal entries on an audio file, I could basically republish it as a podcast. And typically podcasts are audio format. Oh, and one more thing, I think YouTube podcast doesn't require the criteria isn't really exactly that strict compared to the video blogs that I'm making right now. Audio podcasts are mostly, to be honest, in audio, and I plan to republish all those 12 years of journal entries that I've made on the past decade. And I think it's pretty interesting because I've got a lot of stuff to work with. 12 years of material is a lot of material. And say if I publish once a month with all those monthly entries, it will still take me it's been 10 years, so it will take at least for me 10 years to fully complete those podcasts. I'm still thinking heavily on how I'm going to publish and make those podcast formats in YouTube right now. But what I can tell and what I'm sure of is that I'm going to publish podcasts soon. Well, not exactly soon, someday. And I'm pretty excited because I don't have to, my knowledge for the past 10 years that I've been writing down on, on a website blog won't be lost because I could just simply republish it. So it gives me opportunities and at the same time publishing time for YouTube. For my channel to, what I meant to say was, it gives me an opportunity to consolidate all those knowledges that I have accumulated for the past 10 years. And, for the past 10 years that I was writing, what do you call this? The website vlog. So imagine that. Well, actually, before I discovered YouTube podcast, I was thinking of a way of how to republish my works on my blog website. Of course, I was still planning. I had no basic idea how to start with. The only thing I could do was, the only thing that I could think was a concept idea. But now, recently, I think just a week now, I've discovered YouTube podcast that is, of course, only available on a desktop website right now. So, sorry, I have some gas right now. So I was planning that I could republish all those works, put it in some sort of a text-to-speech program, I don't know, and put those journal entries into audio format. Or if the YouTube algorithm system prevents me from using synthetic voice out of their guidelines, I could just simply narrate it. After all, I don't really have long entries on that, so on those journal entries, so I don't really make I don't make long journal entries, so I could probably just narrate it and then republish it on audio. Now it's kind of funny thing because it's YouTube, it's mostly on video, so having something republished via a podcast is usually audio only, but I'm not in particular on how YouTube will work out the video part. But from what I've heard on YouTube videos, on YouTube podcasts, it seems that you can publish still pictures. Kind of like think of it as more like a screenshot. I don't know what you call it, picture slides, where you can narrate a story or something. Which that is what I'm thinking right now. If I'm ever going to make a podcast, I'll probably make some sort of more like slide pictures. And I don't have to worry about the materials on which slide pictures I will use, because on the past 10 years I've been taking pictures during my work experience at that time, still pictures. So I could just run a slideshow on that. And on top of that, I do on my previous website blog journals, I also have pictures that are published there. Just like a journal or website, I do, when I publish an entry, I usually mix it up with the still pictures. So on my journal entries, I could just simply, save those pictures and then publish it on the audio format in YouTube podcasts. So I guess it's pretty interesting, to be honest. But of course, right now I'm still on the planning stages, because at the moment I am kind of busy chronicling my blog here and my video experience on work on my 11th seaman contract right now. And it's no easy feat, because believe it or not, I'm producing videos here much more often than I was on my previous working experience, which is on my previous ship, which is the 10th seaman contract. So back then, I'm speaking on what happened on my last on my last contract. I was publishing videos at least once a week, something like that. But right now, what is happening is that I am publishing videos here, almost one video every few days or so. Basically, it's considering that this contract that I'm working with is just only a 6 month contract, while my previous ship that I work with was almost 10 months. So just to give an idea, the last contract I produced about 120 videos. So that many, just only one, one contract. But right now, based on the count that I have a total of 150 plus videos right now that have already been produced, and still counting, since I haven't counted this video that I'm making right now, and another previous 2 videos that I have scheduled up to be making right now. I mean, right after this work. So imagine that I am basically, publishing not exactly publishing, but making videos at a very, very rapid rate, like I am some sort of desktop computer printer of sorts. But yeah. But at least that's a good thing in some sense, although it's kind of busy because, well, I didn't imagine myself to be publishing, or making videos quite that often. The total limit, or the total minimum, I've even set a standard on how many videos I would produce within a year. Is just only, say, 24 or even 12. I could produce just the videos once a month. But at my rate, what I'm going right now, well, 150 plus videos is, well, if you even put it, lots. I even estimated and calculated the math here that, for example, if I've been producing, if I am going to schedule my videos and publishing it on YouTube for once a week, it will total at least 2 years all in all for all those videos to be fully published. So yeah, but anyway, that's a good thing for me because it will, by the time this 11 Seaman contract is fully published, all the videos of this 11 Seaman contract is fully published, I would be, for protective reasons, long gone. Or my contract has, or 2 years have already passed since I have made this, video that people will be watching right now. So imagine that. I keep it as a policy to have some sort of a space in between publishing, or I would let some amount of time pass before I would publish a video. And in my case, I think it's a pretty wise decision that before I publish a video, I would have a space of at least 2 years before it's fully published, just in case of for security concerns. Of course, sometimes I know it's not a crime, and I have my title of opinion on speaking on my opinion, but that is, of course, the international, basic rights of a person. But in the maritime industry, as we all know, the whole industry revolves on its own rules. And people, not only in the maritime industry, but people specifically in the Philippines sometimes gets, butthurt if somebody tells them about the truth. We're all familiar that some people just get sued up in court because they said something about a review about their own personal opinions on, say, for example, a product or an experience. Say a restaurant that gives a bad service, something like that. So you get the idea. So that's the main reason why I'm publishing as well. Why I am publishing on, what I meant to say was, before I publish a video, I would let time pass before I would publish it. And this video that you're, watching right now makes no exception at all. So for everybody's info, by the time you watch this on YouTube, expect that 2 years have already passed. 2 years have already passed when I made this video. So if you're watching this right now, expect that I made this video somewhere 2 years in the past. And at the present, of course, I'm not going to tell you which location I am. So, but anyway, that's something for my protection against bullying and harassment. Social media is a wonderful place, including videos, but it is also terrifying as well because, well, there's an issue of doxing, there's an issue of online harassment, up to the point that, for example, companies or even private individuals will sue you just because you said something on your personal opinion as a review. So we're trying to avoid that inconveniences right now. Also, yeah, one more thing that I mentioned, I'm also going to apply that rule when I'm making a podcast. I'm going to, wait for at least 2 years before the first podcast. I'm not sure if I'm going to call it podcast video, podcast audio gets published in YouTube podcast. So just to, as a safety measure. In fact, just as an additional information, that is one of my 5 tenets or rules before that I made to myself before publishing a video on YouTube, or before I made a YouTube channel, that any videos published will be published on a later date. Specifically, I have to wait 2 years before it gets published. So there. Well, I don't know. Well, this is going to be a pretty, what do you call this? This is going to be a pretty long job for me right now. So I could switch off my, my action camera right now just to save time because, anyway, I've already said my opinion right now, and we're not getting anywhere right now. My work is simply just painting this whole floor area of the BLS traction winch with color green or final coat green. Maybe I could continue by when I'm mixing a paint, but right now I think I have to switch off my action camera right now. So see you in a few minutes. Okay, so this was, so this is kind of weird because I wasn't expecting to be updating my vlog journal again as soon. As soon as, I kind of ran out of paint fast. So I was expecting I would make another vlog, I would make another video within at least an hour or so. But I ran out of paint within the next 10 minutes, so I'm kind of updating again my blog. So anyway, here's the question: how do we make a paint, or how do we use a paint on board? Well, and how to make paints on a ship, you just basically need 2 things right now. Basically, component A, which is the pigment, and component B, which is the hardener. And keep in mind that all paint brands on board the ship should have the same category. Aside from it's the same brand, it should have the same category. Like this one, you can see that this one, component A, is hardtop smart pack, which is of course color green, but the green is more like optional if it's specific if you need a green color or yellow. But anyway, point here is that it should be on the same category. Like this one, it's smart pack. Component B is also the same, hardtop smart pack component B. So there. Once we have both of these paints that we need, we're just gonna open it up. We just simply mix them. Now in my case, I am going to mix component A, which is the pigment. So I'm just going to add a little. There we go. Oh, do keep in mind, if one more tip I forgot to tell. If your paint here has the same size as component A, then we can only assume that the ratio of mixing of these paint is 1:1. So if your, say, component A is larger than component B, then that's the part where you have to do a little bit of a math on how to mix the ratio. But right now, we can see that they're just on the same size, so we can assume always, it is always a general rule, of course, in seaman, or being a seafarer, that when you mix a paint, if it is on the same size, then we could assume, well, not to say, we're pretty sure that the ratio of mixing would be 1:1. So in my case, it's 1:1. So they even have a visual instruction, as you can see here. A plus B is equal to C. And C is either, well, you can paint it. So it's pretty much more like, they even put it, it's funny that they even put it a visual instruction for those who are, say, mentally challenged. So anyway, there we go. We're gonna mix some hardener here. Keep in mind that when we're mixing, if we don't put a hardener, this paint, or we put less hardener, it means that our paint here will dry on a longer period. We mix it, if we put too much hardener, the paint will harden and dry quite fast than the usual. But of course, for safety purposes and for, you know, for formalities, you have to do the exact estimate. Now, there are some companies here that they even get exact measurements for mixing paint. But I don't think that's quite necessary, because here on board the ship, we just usually estimate on the mixing. You don't need to be so specific, like you're more like a math nut or something. And I don't see the point why you have to measure it. The point here is that the paint should dry within a few hours time. So mixing of the paint isn't, measuring of the hardener isn't exactly necessary. As long as you put enough hardener to make the paint dry and hardened, it will be enough. So there, I am back again here, continuing my paint. So I'll update again after a few minutes. So yeah, see you in a few minutes. Hello, good day. As promised, I am going to update what I am doing after the job or the task is done. So I have now almost full coated the full flooring area of the BLS, this BLS traction winch floor area. So the only thing left that is not fully coated with the new paint is this small area, this one. Now I couldn't full coat it right now because there is hydraulic oil leaking, so that has to be drained first. And at the same time, that area over there is pretty much dirty with dust, so we can't paint it right now or at the moment because, well, the dust will just get in the way of the new paint. So right now, I have already finished my task and I am going to stop painting, or I'm going to stop the job in painting because it's already 9:30. And what I'm going to do next is just basically secure all this equipment and head back to the paint room to, of course, clean this stuff. So I just have to secure this. Well, they will still continue painting, so I am just going to leave this two paints over here, the final coat paint and the hardener. What I'm going to take with me, or what I'm going to take back with me on the way back to the accommodation area, into the paint room, is this stuff. I could just put this one. So yeah, I guess I'm just gonna leave the can and all this stuff. This one I have to clean. I'm also gonna leave the thinner here. This is thinner number 10, Jotun thinner number 10, which is suitable in thinning out the paint, the final coat paint here. So there, the only thing, and I'm going to leave the rag as well. So the only thing that I'm going to carry on my way back towards the paint room is this paint, paintbrushes and roller paint to clean up. And of course, well, I could also leave the stick. I'll just leave the stick behind here. Okay, there we go. This is the only thing that I have to carry. So I'm going to head back on the accommodation area in the paint room. In any case, it's already almost dark or sunset. The sun sets right now at about 9:30. It's still not winter time, it's still summer, but in this area I think the sun sets quite early now. Probably it's a preparation for winter, but it's still the height of summer. And it will be gradual changes on the night and day cycles. So it won't go dark early until it's winter time. So the usual procedure when it comes to nighttime is that we switch on our lights here. Just to illuminate, because the ship is currently at anchorage. So you're seeing right now is the winch on the top view. Oh, by the way, you're using the starboard winch, starboard anchor right now to anchor the ship. So I could go in both ways, but I prefer going on the port side right now because I've already always featured the starboard side of the ship. So let's feature right now the port side on this ship. So it's going to be a long walk, but I don't exactly mind. And I don't think the action camera would be, me wearing an action camera won't be a problem. I think the CCTV is still pointed on the accommodation side right now. So, I don't think that the officer on watch right now is watching me in the forward area. They don't usually keep. It's good for me that they don't keep track of their ratings while I'm at work. So good for me. So I could, make a video while on work. So we still have a ship nearby here at anchorage. This one. It's probably waiting for, I don't know, cargo, loading cargo or discharging cargo. I don't know. But what I'm sure of is that it's going to be ship to ship. But it's their business, of course, not our ship. And we still have the offshore platform over there. It's Kappa Flow. So anyway, I'll just simply go ahead on the towards the accommodation area. So I won't look back right now because the CCTV is, pointed at the back of the direction of my back. So we don't want to get caught in CCTV wearing an action cam or having an electronic gadget. So if you notice, this isn't exactly a very long ship or a very large ship. This is in the BLCC where you have to take 5 minutes to walk from one end to the other. Usually, this is mostly, I think, just probably a Panamax type of ship. Or at least that's what I think of. Or maybe even a Suezmax. But this ship is not going to go there because this ship is specifically designed to operate on Arctic winter conditions or Arctic weather. So it's, let's just say that it's permanently stationed on the North Sea or in the North Sea area. Okay, we're now in the accommodation area. So I'll just clean this paintbrush and paint rollers on the paint room using paint thinner, and we're done for that. Yeah, well, one more thing, you have to thoroughly clean the paintbrush and paint rollers so that the paint doesn't stick on them or harden on this one, because if it does, your paint roller and paintbrush will be totally unusable. Okay, this is our paint store, and this is the chest where we clean our equipment, the one that we use on paint. So I just have to clean this one thoroughly. So, go on the up and down motion when it comes to paint rollers. Okay, I'm just gonna pull this one back so we can have a clear visual in it. So there we go. Just you know, put it on an up and down motion, and I have to be careful in cleaning because you know, a thinner might splash on this action camera's lens, and the damage on the lensing would be permanent. And of course we don't want that. Okay, so I guess this one's clean. It isn't really that hard to clean. So same thing, up and down motion. Alright, there we go. This one's already clean and ready. So I'm just gonna put this one here. Same thing with this brush. Oh, by the way, if you're asking what type of thinner I'm using right now here, this is thinner number 17 and this is thinner number 10. So both are very good in dissolving paint residues that are sticking on your paint brush and your paint roller. They're very good cleaning for you know, for paint equipment. There we go. See, it's almost clean right now. Okay, so just a little more you know, wiggly thing about. I'm just gonna wiggle this one a little bit. And there. Okay, all done. Put it there. Close the chest. Oh. So we have to close the chest because of the flammable vapors of thinner, so it won't escape. So just only as a safety precaution. And I'm not expecting that the paint room would burst into flames when we leave this open. And I think nobody on this ship wants that. So I'm just gonna leave this one open. I don't have to secure this because we're still here by tomorrow. The ship will still be at anchorage tomorrow. And we'll still be doing the regular maintenance job, probably continuing to paint on the final coat in the BLS. Okay, so what am I gonna do right now? Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll just take off my my coveralls here and call it a day and be on standby. And it's a nice weather right here. It's a nice weather right now in Scapa Flow, United Kingdom. So anyway, I'm not gonna hold back. I'm not gonna hold any further on this vlog. So if you like my video, just click on the like and subscribe button and hit the bell button. So again, this is Operator 60. Have a great day, everyone, and see you again on my next vlog update. So bye-bye.